What's going on, boys and girls? This is BBD with BBD TV, the biggest Tennessee Volunteers fan on YouTube. And you're watching the two Irish brothers. Shout out to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Go Vols!
How's it going, everyone? I am ND Sean 45.
I'm Irish Benjamin 57.
And together, the two of us make up this little thing called the Two Irish Brothers Show. First things first, everyone, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. You know you want to. You know we're good guys. You know we put on a damn good show for you. So hit that subscribe button. Give us some love. We sure would appreciate it, especially all of you on the Facebook pages where I post this. The Houston Gamblers Facebook page, the USFL Facebook page, one of them, and then the XFL USFL page. You guys subscribe too. We need your love to help grow this channel. Well, first off, happy Memorial Day weekend to everybody. Ben, how has your Memorial Day weekend been going?
It's been going good so far. Got a few things done around the yard. The house is looking pretty good. So yeah, no, we're doing good.
Awesome. And also we give a salute to all our veterans and to all the ones that gave their lives for this country. Now, before we get into all the NFL discussion, Ben, have you been keeping track of the schedule?
Yeah, I have.
Let's see. Let's go over it. You picked the Bandits. They lost to New Jersey. I picked the Breakers. They beat Michigan. We'll get more to that game in just a second. I picked the Birmingham Stallions. They won. And the Philadelphia Stars and the Houston Gamblers are in progress as we speak. So, but you went with the Gamblers. It's pretty moot at this point. But the point is, you lost for the second time.
Yep.
So that is two punishments that you owe me.
Yep.
Now, we know the first one. We'll probably take care of that tomorrow on Memorial Day itself. But here is your second punishment, and it will be for next week's show. But I got to ask you a couple questions. Do you have a red stocking cap, or are you able to get a red stocking cap?
I have a red stocking cap.
Okay. Do you have I know you have a light blue shirt, like past the shirts from Notre Dame.
Yes.
Do you have anything that can make your beard and your eyebrows white?
I think the wife could figure something out.
Okay, I know, and then the last thing, I know you can get some blue face paint. So for next week's show, you have to do the entire show dressed as Papa Smurf. That is your punishment for your second loss, for your second defeat. That is your punishment, Papa Smurf. So everybody, next week. So next week, everyone, if we haven't given you enough reason to subscribe to our channel for great Notre Dame football content and coverage of the USFL, then seeing Ben dressed as Papa Smurf next week should be well worth it. Hey, those are your picks. Don't blame me. Blame the teams, Papa Smurf.
Jeez.
Well, it could be a lot worse, right? I mean,
it could be worse. Believe me, it could be worse.
With my imagination, it could be very worse. I could add you run.
I work with a bunch of pranksters, so believe me, it could be worse. I understand.
Yeah, I know they'd probably make you run through a restaurant in your underwear or something, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, next week you got to show up as Papa Smurf, and we'll have a grand entrance for you and everything. You gotta admit, this is pretty good. This is good. This is good coming from this noggin.
Yeah, so my face will look about like that. That's
it depends it depends what kind of blue face paint you get, but yeah, probably. But anyway, so we could talk about this bet or this punishment all video, but let's get to this week's action of USFL football. So week 7 is wrapping up right now with the Stars and with the Stars and the Gamblers, but that's on Peacock, so I can't watch it. Ben, I know you can't watch it because you don't have Peacock either. But we've had a great week of games, and this one between Houston and Philadelphia is looking pretty good too because it's only a 3-point lead.
Yep.
But let's talk about the New Jersey Generals and the Tampa Bay Bandits first. It was a 20-13 win for the Generals, and the Generals have officially clinched a playoff spot in that North Division.
Yes.
So
yes, they have.
So one half of that playoff picture for the North is complete. So I don't know how much of the game you were able to watch, but what were your initial thoughts on it?
New Jersey is, as you said, just slowly chipping away and securing their place in the playoffs, which they did. So, like we said last week's video, the other teams that are kind of just barely making it, they're going to have to be some monumental collapses, in my opinion, and New Jersey's one of them. So it's going to get interesting. It's going to get really interesting.
Well, and also one thing that really disappointed me in that game was Tampa Bay Bandits quarterback Jordan Ta'amu, our guy from the Battlehawks. He didn't have such a great day at the ballpark, did he? I think not. I don't think he completed half of his passes. He had the one touchdown, which was a positive, but he threw 3 picks. Not good. A rough day at the office for him.
Right.
But the thing is, we know how good of a quarterback he is. He had a solid performance last week, and I think he'll rebound from it. So, but anyway, let's move on to the next game. And this one, I watched every second of this game last night, and this was a doozy. The New Orleans Breakers and the Michigan Panthers. We had our first overtime game in this reboot of the USFL, and boy, was that fun to watch.
Yeah, another one-score victory for a team. So it's this week has been pretty crazy. And if Philadelphia and Houston keep it very, very close, there'll only be one game that was that was more than one score, which would be Birmingham and Pittsburgh. So, yeah, no, it's been crazy in New Orleans. It's going to be a dogfight between New Orleans and it looks like Birmingham for that top spot in the South Division.
I still think Birmingham's going to take the top spot, but not like it really matters. I mean, these are teams that have played before, so it's not like this isn't like the NCAA basketball tournament where you have to figure out who's going to play what. You've played all these teams before in this league, so you know what to expect. But what was really exciting about that game last night was the final 2 minutes. A couple different lead changes, and it came down to the Breakers on the final possession. Trying to get at that, they were trying to win the game, but let's face it, they were trying to get into field goal range to tie the game. Kyle Sloter throws a pass, and it gets caught after the first down with 1 second left on the clock, and that gives them a chance to call a timeout and kick the game-tying field goal and to go into overtime. So it was freaking nuts. I had a lot of fun watching it. And then I don't know if were you able to catch the end of the game and see overtime?
A little bit, but not a ton.
Oh, I gotta tell you, the overtime rules in this league I like. It's essentially a best of 3 on 2-point conversions, and then if both teams are tied after that, they go to sudden death.
Yeah,
which I think was awesome. And the Breakers end up getting 2 out of 3. They stopped the Panthers twice. And so they won the game 31-27, hence the 2-point conversions right there. So it was a lot of fun to watch. A lot of fun. And then I was not able to catch any of the Stallions and the Maulers earlier today. But as you said, it was a 10-point victory. I did see the last minute of the game, and I know the Maulers, they were trying to kick a long field goal and set themselves up for the he missed the field goal to set themselves up for the onside kick or the 4th and 12 possession to keep possession of the ball.
And I do believe that if he'd made that field goal at the end, they would have done like the 4th and 12. which would have been insane. And the first time we have actually had that happen. But yes, no, this game, somebody put up a graphic. I don't know who it was. But the Birmingham Stallions, they are a tale of two teams, if you will. First half, they can't do anything. They for whatever reason can't do anything. They're worse in the league for points scored in the first half. Second half, number one in the league for points scored in the second half. So they're definitely a second half team, and that's exactly what happened. And Birmingham just gave the Maulers more than they could handle. But man, Pittsburgh had me nervous. I was like, yep, I said it off camera. I said, Pittsburgh or Michigan, they're going to be the team that gets one of these higher up, really good teams that are number one in the conference.
Well,
they made me nervous.
Well, we're not a higher up team in the league, but how do you think I feel? I mean, the Maulers, they got their first one against my Gamblers. So, yeah. But the thing is, that was a case of where Pittsburgh was a second half team. And as we've seen with the Gamblers all season, they've kind of collapsed in that fourth quarter alone. So,
yeah.
Go ahead. I was going to say, speaking of which, it is Houston 17, Philadelphia 13 at the half.
Yep.
Just to give everybody a little update. So go ahead with what you were going to finish saying.
Well, no, there was, basically 7 points left off the board by Birmingham because there was a beautiful pass thrown by Jamar, and the guy dropped. He was wide open, right in the hands, right back and dropped it, and he would have gone easily for a touchdown. So there's that. So it could have been maybe more lopsided. Who knows? And
I'm glad you mentioned that, Ben, because, and I'm just going to address this very briefly, but to all the people who were complaining on the Facebook pages about calling this league trash and saying it's nothing like the NFL, well, how many times have we seen drop passes, missed easy kicks, and so on in the NFL? We've seen that plenty of times. So you can't say that this doesn't happen in the NFL either, because it happens here. Okay, you're going to see drop passes here in the USFL. You see that in the NFL. Only difference is the NFL is established. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that this league is trying to compete with the NFL. They never will. But don't be crapping on this league just because these are things that happen in football all the time. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. It was a good game, though. Freaking Pittsburgh gave Birmingham everything they handle. So. Yep.
And it looks like that's the kind of game we're getting here with the Stars and the Gamblers, but we'll have to wait and see how that game turns out. So Ben, let's go to the players of the week. I have 4 of them, and no, since Philadelphia and Houston are playing right now, I don't have any Gambler or Star players in this my players for the week, but I have 4 this week from the New Jersey Generals. We have safety. Dewan Eskew Henry, 8 tackles, 2 picks, and 3 pass deflections or breakups, whatever you want to call them. I have quarterback Kyle Sloter from the New Orleans Breakers, 15 to 24, 182 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. From the Pittsburgh Maulers, and even in a losing effort, you gotta look at the good. Running back Madre London, 99 yards, 18 carries, 1 touchdown, and this guy deserves it. Very much. From the Michigan Panthers, we have kicker Cole Murphy, who was 4 or 5 on field goals, including a 60-yarder, the longest so far in young USFL history.
Yep.
And that was a dandy of a kick. He came through in the clutch.
Yep. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And I'm telling you right now, kicks like that, those are the kind of kicks that can land you on an NFL roster.
Yes. Well, I'll start with my players of the week with the Pittsburgh Maulers. And I'm going with a kicker. I'm going with Ahmed for the Maulers. He went 3 for 4, but he did miss that final kick of his that would probably have made the game really, really interesting.
Shades of Cody Parkey.
58-yard field goal in this game today. So, 2 yards shy of the longest one in the USFL, as you said.
The
So,
battle of the kickers this week, huh?
just absolutely incredible. And it's crazy because the 58-yarder, you knew he made it. Like when he kicked it, you knew he made it. I was like, holy cow, yep, he made that. And then the one that he missed at the end of the game, it's like, dude, how did you do that? So anyway, he's one of my players of the week. And then let me pop over because I don't know names per se as best as I should. And then of course I have Slaughter as well as you did. But yeah, those are my 2 players of the week. I mean, there are some other guys that had good weeks, but I don't think really quantify or all that to be the number one. So.
And I'm gonna check out some players from the game that's in progress right now, the Gamblers and the Stars. We got Cook for the Stars. We got Cookus 8 of 14, 63 yards. Ooh, 2 interceptions. Colborn the second, 10 attempts, 43 yards, rushing, 1 touchdown. He's looking like setting himself up to have a pretty good game. Nothing really big happening in the receiving department. And I would say defensively, we're looking at Crawford with 3 tackles, 3 tackles and 1 sack. So not a whole lot happening. Obviously, it's only been 1 half, but with the Gamblers, let's see how Clayton Thorson is doing. 8 of 12, 70 yards, no touchdowns, but no picks. So that's a positive.
Yeah, both quarterbacks are kind of in the same realm. Cookus is 8 for 14, and then Thorson's 8 for 12. So the only difference is 2 interceptions to none.
Mark Thompson, he's got to pick it up. Only 21 yards on 8 carries. Let's see. Ratliff Williams, 32 yards on 3 catches. Not bad so far. Let's see. Defensively, no sacks by the Gamblers on defense, but you got Payne with 5 tackles and 3 of them being solos. 2 interceptions out of him, and 2 pass deflections and a pick 6. Wow. So he's gotten a chunk of the Gambler scoring so far. So yeah, that's what we have going on with the Stars and the Gamblers. Of course, we will see here in another couple hours how that game turns out. But so far, what, Ben, 7 weeks in, it's been a lot of fun. 3 weeks to go.
Yes, it has.
So
this league, and people are crazy for saying they don't like it.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. This league is getting its views. Believe it or not, it's getting its views. I mean, they've been averaging like a little over 1 million people every week. I mean, there's been a couple weeks where it's dipped off some, but the bottom line is people are watching this league, and It's been a lot of fun. I think I saw a stat last night where only like 9 of these games have been decided by more than 1 score. Other than that, they've all been within a score, and hence it's been fun to watch. And I can't believe that you have so many negative Nancys out there that can't see this just because it's not the NFL. It's crazy.
Yep.
So, Ben, is there anything else you'd like to add to this week's USFL?
Nope.
All right. Well, I don't either. But like I said earlier, make sure you guys tune in next week to see me joined by Papa Smurf for our Week 8 coverage. And Ben, I know you're looking forward to that, aren't you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, on that note, everyone, I am ND Sean 45.
I'm Irish Benjamin 57.
And as we always say, God bless, good night, and for me, even though they're a losing team, go Gamblers, aces high, baby.
Go Stallions, giddy up.